Right guys, I'm back with a different type of video today. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how Chelsea can win the Premier League, the Champions League, everything. Literally, this is a plan sheet of how they're going to win the Champions League next year. Honestly, so trust me on this. Like, I can basically take any team and win the Champions League, and the Premier League, obviously. So I'm just going to take you guys through the whole squad that we have right now, excluding the players who are out on loan. So if you look at our goalkeepers, we have the big man Kepa himself. Not actually the big man, no, he's actually very small. I think he's only like 6 foot, which was a downgrade from Courtois, who's like 6'7". So he's quite a small goalkeeper, and it's shown because he's been kind of shed. But he is getting better. So hopefully Lampard's good with young players. So hopefully he can kind of make Kepa a bit more consistent in goal, because we need him in the big games and he hasn't really turned up. So Willy Caballero, might as well just let him run his contract out. He's pretty consistent, but he's consistently average. So I guess that's what you need as a backup keeper though. So he's like 59, so might as well keep him, you know what I mean. And Jamie Cumming, just a youth player. Haven't really seen too much of him, but hopefully he can grow into the next big thing. So our main centre back, in my opinion, is Antonio Rudiger. He's definitely the most consistent, and he gets the most game time for sure as well. I mean, him and Tomori, maybe Zuma, have got the most game time, but Rudiger is, I think he can. I would be happy and I'd feel safe with him defending any player in the league. Yeah, he's decently fast. He's not the fastest centre back, but he can. In a sprint he'll lose, but he can. He's agile enough, so that's why I like him. He's amazing in the air as well. Marcos Alonso, probably our best centre back. Some might play Emerson over him, but I think for now, especially under Frank Lampard, Marcos Alonso, he has that bit of experience. He won the league with Conte, where he was one of the best left backs in the world. At that point, he was mental, but that was only for one season. So I'd probably move him on. To be honest, he's not the most consistent. I want to say that, but I'd probably sell him on and bring in a new left back. I'm going to talk about the links later. But our next centre back is Andreas Christensen, who's literally been at Chelsea for like 15 years. I'm pretty sure he came up through our youth system, but we definitely got him when he was like 18, so he's been with us for a while now, and he's only 23. He's like 22, 23, so I don't think he's going to improve that much more, but I think he'd be a great like bench warmer, you know what I mean. So I'd keep him, just use on the bench, because he's not the strongest. Like, for a centre back, he's really weak, which is quite disappointing. So he needs to hit the gym, but as long as he keeps in the gym, he'll be a solid centre back. Next, we have the captain, Cesar Azpilicueta, who's aging a bit, and you can tell by the way he's been playing on the pitch. He hasn't been the greatest this season. He's a good captain though. All the players have good things to say about him. So for that reason, like his leadership and that, I'll keep him on the team. And definitely for the rest of this season, maybe the beginning of next, I'll keep him at right back. But he does need to start being moved out of the team for Reece James, to be honest. The other left back on the other side of the pitch, Emerson Palmieri, didn't know that was his surname, but he's a decent centre back. I would, considering I said we'd move on Alonso, I'd keep Emerson as a backup. He's quite consistent in games like mid-table teams or bottom half or the cup matches. He's great for them. He's really rapid going forward, and some of these crosses are amazing. So the next centre back, Kurt Zouma, who I don't know if he's played more than Tomori, but I think he's been really solid this season, and it's been his first season actually playing for Chelsea, because he's always been out on loan. He had a really underwhelming performance at Everton last season, so I'm glad that he's finally got into the team, because he's so strong. Like, unlike Christian Eriksen, Andreas Christensen, he's super strong. He's probably the strongest in our team. So yeah, like he's literally like Lukaku at the back. So I like Kurt Zouma. I'll keep him. Maybe if he doesn't He's still young, so he can grow to be better. But we really need to give Rudiger a better centre half like partner. So hopefully he can grow into that, because I really like him. Our last two defenders, Reece James, who's this season under Frank Lampard, he's just came onto the first team at some points and really proven that why England has such a competitive right back position. I mean, people always talking about like Kyle Walker, Wan-Bissaka, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I mean honestly, in a couple of years, I mean maybe even next year, Reece James is going to be bursting onto the scene, and Alexander-Arnold is probably the best right back in the world, but Reece James is really going to push like Wan-Bissaka for the second spot, honestly. So yeah, I'm really excited to see him, because some of his games, like even in the Champions League, he's just performed so well. So our last centre back, Fikayo Tomori, one of Frank Lampard's youth players that he's put through and absolutely teared onto the first team. He's been really competitive with Kurt Zouma to fight for the partnership with Rudiger, but I mean he's so fast for a centre back. He's rapid. Like I don't know how tall he is. I think he's like 6 foot, 6'2". So maybe he's a bit too tall to be a fullback, but I mean he literally has the pace of a fullback, and it's really good because the strikers nowadays are so fast. You really need a centre back like Tomori to just keep up with them, and he's only like 20 as well, so I think he has more potential than Zouma. So I can't wait to see Fikayo Tomori in a couple of years. Now on to our midfield, Jorginho. He's like 28, so he's probably at the peak of his career. An amazing passer, probably one of the best passers on the team. He's really underrated. I think people are starting to appreciate his play more, because sometimes he doesn't really get on the stat sheet. Like he doesn't get the assists. The amount of times he's got like the pass to the assist, and they're so important. Like the attack always goes through Jorginho, and I think people need to appreciate him more. So I'd keep him, but we could have a better centre mid in that position. So maybe after a couple of years, Frank Lampard is able to build the rest of the team, and then get that massive signing to replace Jorginho. N'Golo Kante, the best CDM in the world. Shut up if you don't agree with me. Honestly, sit down. The nicest man. I mean, look at that smile. How can you not love Kante? He'll snap up any loose ball around our own box, and he's honestly just amazing. Stronger than he looks. He's a good playmaker as well. Like under Sarri, when Jorginho CDM, Kante was like playing as a cam almost. He did decent. He didn't do as good as CDM, but if you play him as a centre mid role, like he'll still be able to like whip the balls out to the wings, and he's a decent passer. His passing is definitely underrated. Then we have Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley, he's like 25 years old. He's been at Chelsea for a few years now, and at Everton a couple of years ago he looked really promising for England, but I think at Chelsea he's really underperformed. I think Everton was probably the highest team he could go to. He's really out of his depth at Chelsea, and he's had a couple of good games. He scored against Liverpool and beat them in the FA Cup, but I mean, no, I'll sell him. I think we'll be able to get like 20 mil for him. So I'd sell Ross Barkley. He's not good enough for Chelsea. Next we have the Croatian Kovacic, one of the midfielders in the amazing Croatian midfield. Absolutely crazy at midfield. It's crazy. But yeah, he's really consistent, and he had a quiet first season, but I mean under Lampard, he's really grown into one of the best midfielders in the league. I honestly mean that. He's not the amazing passer of De Bruyne, and he's not like the skills of Pogba, but I mean just that he's just a really perfect midfielder. Like, he's able to defend, he's able to pass, he's able to shoot. He's actually got a really good shot on him. So hopefully under Lampard he can kind of go into a Lampard player where he can get a bunch of goals from midfield, because his shot so far is literally mental for a midfielder. So yeah, I'll definitely keep him. I like Kovacic. Then we have Loftus-Cheek, quite similar to Kovacic. He's got really big centre mid. I think he's our tallest defender and probably our biggest midfielder. I mean, he's like 6'2", I think. and he's pretty around 200 pounds, and that's 200 pounds of muscle. Like he's hedge. I really like Loftus-Cheek. I want to see him play more under Lampard. It's going to be difficult because obviously now we have Ziyech as well to play. But I mean, Loftus-Cheek, we don't have another player in the team like Loftus-Cheek. He's just so physical, and that's what you need sometimes. Like he can just bully the midfield, and if you have a team that needs bullying, sometimes you don't need like the best technical midfield. You just need someone who can push them about. It's like Fellaini at Man U. He actually did decent, and he was just a bully in the air. He just bullied the small midfielders. So I really like Loftus-Cheek. Then we have Marco van Ginkel, who I was actually surprised was in Chelsea. I thought he was out on loan because he's been out on loan for the last 100 years. I'd just sell him. Honestly, he's just leeching off of our money now. I don't think he's played a single game all season. And it's a shame because he's actually a really good player. Last season, he was on loan at PSV, I think. He was on loan at PSV, and I think he was the captain at PSV, or like the second captain or something. But he in the Dutch league this is, and he got like 20 assists and 20 goals. He literally smashed the Dutch league, and it is a smaller league, but it is a decent league. Like there's players like Ziyech there, who we've got, who is an amazing player. So it's a shame 'cause he did have potential, but I don't know, he just never managed to get that foot into the first team. So now we have Mason Mount, so our cam or left winger. He's quite a versatile player, but he's burst onto the scene thanks to Frank Lampard again. He played with Frank Lampard at Derby last season and did amazing. But he's obviously due to the transfer ban Chelsea had this season, he'd been able to get so much game time, and he's at the beginning of the season he did really well. He kind of slowed down a bit to the end of the season, but I think we shouldn't loan him out again because I think this season he's proved that he can play first team. Maybe just not as much. Like don't put so much responsibility on him because the cam position today has a really big responsibility in the team, and I think he's too young for that. So, and then Billy Gilmore, the best Chelsea player in the team. This lad, honestly, he's going to win the World Cup with Scotland. He's going to win the Champions League with Chelsea. I'm telling you. I mean, he tore apart Liverpool. The couple of games he played, I think he played against Liverpool in the FA Cup, where he tore Liverpool a new one. Honestly, Fabinho, he broke Fabinho's ankles on his debut. Like this kid, honestly, he got man of the match that match as well, I think, and I think he got man of the match the next game at Everton as well. So he's probably the most promising player at Chelsea, I think. He's only like 18, so he's crazy. You could maybe loan him out just so he gets some experience at a bigger team, but I wouldn't. I'd keep him in the team and I'd actually play him a lot. I'd like to rotate. There's two centre mids. I'd keep Kante playing at CDM, but the two centre mids like Jorginho and Kovacic, rotate them around so that like Mount, Loftus-Cheek and Gilmore get a lot of game time as well. Because Gilmore's going to be, he's really small, but I mean, he's going to be such a good player. Next we have Pedro, who's actually been linked. I think he's either been linked with retirement or linked just to go to a smaller club. He's about 33 years old now, and although he's probably the best player with like both feet on the team, but I mean his age is really showing this season. Last season he was really good. I liked watching Pedro, and I still like watching him now, but I mean he is getting older, so I'll definitely sell him like back to the Spanish league or something, wherever he wants to go, because players like Callum Hudson-Odoi need to start getting more game time. Hudson-Odoi, I think he tore his ACL, but he's just got back, and he hasn't played too much, obviously because his injury, but he's such a promising player, and I really want to see more of him. I think Pulisic on the left, Hudson-Odoi on the right, that would be such a great wing. Both so fast. He's such a fast player, and hopefully he can get better dribbling as well. Because if he's able to, like, he's a 6 foot winger. Like if he's just tearing down the wing, but no fullback stopping him. Olivier Giroud, who literally one of my favourite players at Chelsea. Not one of the best, but he's so consistent. He recently scored the winner against Aston Villa. And, you know, on big days he turns up. Europa League final last season, he's along with Hazard. He just took over. And he's like 32 years old, and I think there's been a couple of rumours that he'll go somewhere else. Because obviously Werner's came in now, so his position has really gone. But he is getting older. But I'm happy just to keep him until retirement, because if we need to bring someone on who's able to get that like aerial threat, like or just bully the defense, he's the man, honestly. Next we have Willian, who like Pedro is linked away with going to a smaller team. He's also like Pedro. He's getting older, and this season has really shined. He's always been the most consistent player. Like a couple of seasons ago when Chelsea finished like ninth, he got player of the season for Chelsea. Like he's always had a good season, and I've always loved him. He's like shooting, crossing, like he'll get a really good balance of goals and assists. But yeah, this season he's really shown his age, so I'll definitely move him on. Michy Batshuayi, I really liked him. A couple of seasons ago, he would get like 2 goals a game off the bench. But again, with Werner coming to the team, he's the 4th choice striker now, I'd say, and it's a shame. He's really good, but I think if we sell him to a team like Crystal Palace, where he did really good at and on, or Everton, I think he'll have a good career there. And I think he'll suit those teams as well. So I'd move him on. We'll get a 10 to 20 mil for him. So, but he's a great striker. I do like him. Now Christian Pulisic plays on the left, on the right. Probably play cam as well. Probably the best American, which isn't the greatest award, but you know, he should take it. Really promising though. He's only about 20 or 21. I think he's gonna be such a great winger for Chelsea. His first season was this year, and I can remember that hat trick he got against Norwich. I think it was. It was just amazing. I know it's Norwich and a bit of shit, but like he really has potential, getting assists and goals. So really good. Last but not least, we have the big man up front, Tammy Abraham. He's probably been the talking point of Frank Lampard's young Chelsea this year. He's I can't remember how many goals he's got, but he's for a young striker, he's been the perfect position, or perfect player, sorry, for Chelsea. He's considering his height, he's not the greatest in the earth, so I really want to see him hone in on his height, because he's 6'4", 6'5", so he really does need to be getting those headers. But as a goal scorer, he's absolutely amazing. He's what's this? He's got 13 goals and 3 assists this season, so that's 150 minutes per goal, which is better than Raul Jimenez. So about the same as Aubameyang. So you know, like he's scoring a goal every at the same rate as Aubameyang, and Aubameyang's considered one of the league's best strikers. So I don't know, I'm just saying, Tammy Abraham's going to be a starter for England, and I hope Chelsea needs to keep him. Definitely keep him. So because you know, if we whip the crosses in and he's 6'5", most centre backs aren't 6'5", so he really needs to become an aerial threat. And that's, if I was Frank Lampard, I'd make sure that I'm training him to become an aerial threat, like Giroud. Like just be a really good centre forward, and just use his physical attributes to his advantage, really. So from what we have made so far of the transfers, this is the formation and the team that I'd play if I was Frank Lampard. So I'd have Kepa in goal. I'd start James over as Piliqueta. James really needs to get game time, so and same with Tomori. I wouldn't use any wingers, which is a shame because I really like Pulisic, but we really have too many centre mids, and I don't want to sell any of them. So I'll play 4 in the middle, using Kante, DM, Ziyech, the new signing at Cam. I can't wait to see Ziyech. His stats. I know his stats in the Dutch league are amazing. I know it's the Dutch league, but even the Champions League, he's dominated. So I can't wait to see him. And then 2 strikers up front, because I really don't want to drop Abraham. But you have to play Werner. And a lot of people saying play Werner out wide, but he can play out wide, but his stats out wide aren't that great. I think he's got like 6 goals in 25 games as a left winger, whereas he's scored like 50 goals in like 50 games as a striker. Like he's such a good. Oh, I can't wait for Chelsea next season. Honestly, it's going to be so exciting. So I think this is the team that I would play as Frank Lampard. But as you'll see, there's some tweaks that I'd make. So before I get onto the tweaks I'd make, this is another team that Frank could potentially use. Same defence. Kante, obviously still DM, but instead of using 2 strikers, he could drop Abraham. He's still a bit younger, and put Mount on the left and Pulisic on the right. So it's not necessarily this is our first Form 8 like team, but I mean if Frank Lampard has this team that he could use, or the first team I showed you, like depending on, if fullbacks on a certain team are really weak, like if we play PSG, they have really weak fullbacks, I think, compared to their centre backs. So we can utilise that and play wingers instead of going down the middle all the time. Like Mount and Pulisic, Mount can play on the left, so I prefer him at centre mid, but he can play on the left, so that's decent there. But then if we play another team with really solid centre backs like Real Madrid, we can go down the middle and just bully the midfield, So Lampard already has 2 teams that he can just use that are both amazing. So now we have some potential transfers that I've heard that Chelsea are interested in. So the first one is Jan Oblak, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. I don't think the rumours have been that strong, but Chelsea are potentially getting a new striker. Not a striker, a new goalkeeper. And because Kepa hasn't really came in that well, and Jan Oblak, he hasn't been vocal about leaving Atletico Madrid, but he has been there his whole career, and he hasn't really won anything. So maybe coming to Chelsea, where he could potentially win the Premier League, and obviously win the Champions League, because my tactics are the best. If Chelsea get Oblak, I would literally cry. He's the most underrated goalkeeper in the world. I mean, his saves are mental. Like, he's so. Oh, I just love him. I really do. It's the next player that Chelsea are really heavily linked with, and I think this is probably our most prominent rumour. Is the left back at Leicester, Ben Chilwell, the English left back. I think he's probably the starter for England actually as well. But he's had such an amazing season at Leicester, and as I said, I do want to get a new left back. The left back's probably the position that I want to fill the most, because Marcos Alonso or Emerson aren't really feeling the job. And going forward, his crossing is amazing, and he's really good defensive left back, which I think Frank Lampard wants at least one of his fullbacks to be. Because defending is really amazing. He can defend almost any attacker. So we've also been linked with Layvin Kurzawa from PSG, but he's really not good. So I really hope we can get Ben Chilwell, hopefully like 30 to 40 mil maybe. Because I mean, he's England's #1 left back, so he's wanted by a lot of clubs, including like Arsenal, including Man City, I think. So he's going to be in a couple of years. I think he'll be wanted by like Real Madrid and that. So if we can snap him up now, he'll really help us. Maybe he's like the next Ashley Cole, so that would be really good. So the next player that's heavily linked with Chelsea is Kai Havertz, the attacking midfielder from Bayer Leverkusen. Also very young, so he would suit Frank Lampard's style so well. He's such a good goal scorer. He's like 6'2" as a cam, and he can also play on the right as well, which is amazing. Like if he comes to Chelsea, it's gonna be so versatile. Like Mount can play on the wing, he can play at midfield. So can Havertz. Ziyech can do the same. We already have so many central midfielders, so if Havertz does come in, we are going to have to get rid of Jorginho, I think, or Loftus-Cheek, but I do like them, so But I mean, assists, goals, he's a cracking player, cracking. So this is the team that I'd expect Frank Lampard to use if those three signings were brought in. There is a lot of versatility with this team because obviously, as I said, Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, they can play literally anywhere in the attack. So the formation can be changed. But I mean, if we had this team, it would it would be so amazing. Such a youthful young team who can just attack and defend as one. And Oblak if we get Oblak, if Chelsea are unable to keep Kante, we can also play this formation. Same formation, but instead we have Jorginho at DM and Kovacic centre mid. Jorginho has proven that he can play decently at CDM. I think if we did do this, I'd probably bring in a new CDM. Which, if we bring a CDM like, I don't know, I have no idea, but because Kovacic is amazing, and it would be a real shame to leave Mal, and same with Mason Mount as well. Like, we just have so many midfielders, it's crazy. But if we could get Oblak, Chilwell, and Havertz, I would probably be happy to give up Kante. But I mean, unless we're gonna get like proven players who are gonna make Chelsea so much better, I'm not getting rid of Kante because he's Chelsea's best player probably. So yeah, there you go. Different type of video today. I actually really enjoyed making this. I honestly think if we can get all these signings, I genuinely think we can push for the Premier League and go further in the Champions League. I mean, Timo Werner is one of the best strikers in the world. Hakim Ziyech is probably the most underrated midfielder and playmaker in the world. So already Frank Lampard's made such a super team. So if we get the likes of Chilwell, Black, Havertz, we could dominate. Like we probably have the best striker in the league, possibly. He hasn't proven himself yet, which is fair enough, but he can definitely grow into that. Like, if you just look at our team now compared to Liverpool and City, over a short amount of time we've grown so much more. And next season we're really going to push for the top two. So I can't wait for next season. If you have any other team that you want me to cover, I'll cover them as well. Because honestly, I'm literally the master tactician. I can literally transform any team into what Champions League winners. So yeah, comment down below what team you want me to do next. Because I really like doing this. So and leave a like and subscribe and all that good shit. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.